Very good morning to everyone. Now we will see one more important part. There is a second part of electrochemistry is electrolytic cell. First part completely we have discussed. Second part of electrochemistry is electrolytic cell. What is electrolytic cell? It is a kind of device, or it is a device which converts electrical energy into chemical energy. Generally, an electrolytic cell, a non-spontaneous reaction can take place by passing electric current. There is an electrolytic cell. The cell in which electrical energy is converted into chemical energy. Generally, what happens in electrolytic cell? Non-spontaneous redox reactions can take place by passing electric current. So that electric current can decompose the chemical compound into the ions to the non-spontaneous. Here, non-spontaneous chemical reaction, redox reaction, can take place by passing electric current. Whereas in case of electrochemical cell or galvanic cell, there is a spontaneous reaction. The spontaneous redox reaction can take place there. Chemical energy can be converted into the electrical energy. This is quite opposite to the cell. Here, electrical energy is converted into the chemical energy through non-spontaneous redox reaction. Here, anyhow, when you pass some electric current to the electrolytic cell, there you will use one electrolyte. And with the passage of electric current, the electrolyte can undergo decomposition, or the breakage of electrolyte can take place. In the process we can call electrolysis process or electrolysis. Use one word here, electrolysis. Electro means electrolyte here. Lysis generally will use this for breakage. It is the breaking of electrolyte by passing electric current. That is the overall electrolysis process. It is the process of decomposition of electrolyte. The process of decomposition of electrolyte by passing electric current. And this is called electrolysis process. Simply breakage of electrolyte by passing electric current. So it can be takes place in electrolytic cell. Now we will see overall the description of the electrolytic cell, actually how it look like. So what type of components are present in electrolytic cell and what type of chemical reactions will take place. This is a kind of the black diagram we will take up. This is a description of electrolytic cell. Description of electrolytic cell. The components present in an electrolytic cell. Electrolytic cell will look like this. The cell which is immersed with the two electrodes. We will take one solution, electrolyte. It is dipped with two electrodes, and these electrodes will be connected externally to the battery. This is the black diagram of the electrolytic cell, where this is called electrolytic cell. And these are the electrodes. These the electrodes, and this is the electrolytic solution. We will use electrolyte here, and these electrodes they are connected external to the battery, and this is a battery. External supply of current, a battery or EMF. Generally, most of the cases, this electrolytic cell made up of non-conducting material. It is made up of non-conducting material. And here electrodes. Again, we will use two types of electrodes, as like in case of electrochemical cell, and one is the anode and one is cathode. Then what is the anode here and what is the cathode? In case of electrolytic cell, anode is the electrode which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery. Generally, this big line indicates the positive terminal and the small line indicates the negative terminal for a battery representation. And here, this electrode which is connected to the positive terminal of the battery is called anode. This point is very important. You should remember what is the anode and what is the cathode here. And electrode which is connected to positive terminal of the battery. But as usual, always at anode oxidation takes place, as like previous in case of electrochemical cell also, at anode oxidation takes. Here, always oxidation takes place at anode. And it is the anyhow it is connected to the positive terminal of the battery, hence we can say it is a positive electrode. Whereas in case of electrochemical cell, anode is a negative electrode, but in case of electrolytic cell, this is a positive electrode. But always same, the remaining process is same. Always oxidation takes place in both the cell. Only one the difference is the sign. And cathode. What is the cathode in case of electrolytic cell? Which is connected to the negative terminal of the battery. This is the electrode which is connected to negative terminal. Again, in case of cathode, always reduction takes place. Always reduction takes place. But here cathode is a negative electrode. This is reverse. Previous case, galvanic cell cathode is a positive, but here it is a negative electrode. This is about electrodes in electrolytic cell. Next, electrolyte. What is electrolyte? We use one substance. The electrolytic cell. There is electrode. You can see the picture here. Electrodes over electrolytic cell, and this is electrolyte. Generally, electrolyte it forms ions. It can use ions, positive and negative ions. Electrolyte mostly undergoes a dissociation and conduct electricity. The substance which gives ions. Substance which gives ions in molten state or dissolved state. Either in molten state, this is sometimes called fused state, or in dissolved state. Mostly will take aqueous form, dissolved in water, and conduct electricity. The type of substance we can call electrolyte. It should produce ions either in the molten state or fuse. Here molten or fused is nothing but pure liquid form. Is nothing but pure liquid state. Or dissolved state when you add some solvent, mostly in case of solvent will take water here. When you add to the water, it should produce the ions and conduct electricity. That is electrolyte. We can further divide electrolytes into two types, like strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Further classification. Strong electrolyte and weak electrolyte. A strong electrolyte means the substance which can undergo 100% ionization. Here complete, almost complete ionization can take. Almost complete ionization. And the electrolyte can produce complete ions. And here a partial ionization can take place, not complete ionization. Only partial ionization. The type of electrolyte is weak. Best example for strong electrolyte, You can take strong acids, strong bases, and salts. Examples for strong electrolytes: strong acids, strong bases, and some salts. And here weak electrolytes, there are weak bases and weak acids. Weak acids and weak bases, and few partially soluble salts or sparingly soluble salts. But here mainly we'll concentrate on the strong electrolytes only, the substance which can give complete ionization. Sometimes we'll use another word here apart from the electrolytes, non-electrolyte salts. So non-electrolyte means these are the substances that do not produce any ions, and they are almost non-conducting in nature. Substance which does not conduct electricity. Either in molten state or dissolved state or whatever it is, but because it cannot produce any ions, there is no ionization. In case of non-electrolytes, no ionization. Example, you can take mostly glucose. No ionization for the glucose molecules, or sucrose or sugar, urea, to some extent. This comes under non-electrolytes. Anyhow, here in case of electrolytic cell, mostly we will use electrolyte. The two strong electrolyte we will use. That is overall distribution of the electrolytic cell, the components present in the electrodes, battery, electrolytic cell, and electrolytic solution. So when you pass electric current through that electrolytic cell by using the externally battery, the electrolyte can undergo decomposition or breakage of ions can take place, and those ions can move. You see the structure again there. When you pass some electric current through externally, then this electric current is responsible to break the electrolyte. It can give the ion. So under the influence of this electric current, and these ions can migrate, and they can migrate to the opposite electrode. Here this negative ion can move towards the positive electrode. Why? Because negative can be stabilized by the positive electrode, and this positive ion can be moved towards the negative electrode, that is towards the cathode. In here negative ion means anion, positive ions cation. So always anions will move. In case of electrolytic cell, anion can be moved towards anode, and they may deposit or liberated at that electrode, and the cation will move towards cathode. Again, it may deposit or liberate at that particular electrode. Anion will move, and it can releases. Anion means generally they are having excess electrons. So it can give it excess electron to the electrode. Why? Because electrode is positive in nature, and that ion may deposit or liberate at that particular electrode. Similarly, this cation will move towards the cathode, and cathode is a negative electrode. So it can accept the electron from this electrode, and it may deposit there as ion, or it may liberate there. So like this, the chemical reactions can take place. So anyhow, now this overall electrolysis process, the decomposition of electrolyte, there is a liberation or deposition of ions at that particular electrode, can be studied in two ways. That is in one quantitative manner and one is a qualitative manner. So we can say here, one is a qualitative electrolysis and quantitative electrolysis. Electrolysis can take place in two ways. Qualitative electrolysis and the second one, quantitative electrolysis. qualitative analysis, electrolysis. Means what? Qualitative means what type of ions undergo deposition or liberation, or what type of ions can move towards the respective electrodes. That information we can get from this qualitative electrolysis. So it can give the information about types of ions liberated. Types of ions or nature of ions. Liberate or deposit at the particular electrode. That information we can get from the qualitative electrolysis. Next one, quantitative electrolysis. Quantity means amount of substance. Anyhow, ions can move to the respective electrodes. They can deposit there or liberate there. Then how much amount of ion deposited or how much amount of gas evolved at that particular electrode. That can give the quantitative electrolysis, quantitative information. So it will give the amount of substance. Deposited or liberated. Amount of substance means here amount we may take in terms of the weight, or you can take volume if it is a gas, or concentration, how much concentration deposited. This amount nothing but weight or volume or concentrations. This is a qualitative aspect and quantitative aspect. So first we'll go with this quantitative aspect of the electrolysis. First we'll go with qualitative aspect of electrolysis. So when you take that electrolytic cell, if you pass electric current, the electrolyte can undergo decomposition, it can move to the either of the electrodes. Then what type of ions will get deposited at the respective electrodes? That will be discussed. So first we'll take electrolyte here, fused electrode. Here case 1, we'll go with let me take directly fused electrolytes. You may take electrolyte in the form of fused form or molten form, that is a pure liquid, and another one in the aqueous form, you can dissolve in water. This is a fused electrolysis, or you take fused electrolyte. Electrolysis of fused electrolyte. Let me take an example. Fused electrolyte, two electrodes are dipped. Let me take here fused sodium chloride. The electrolysis of fused sodium chloride. Now you take the sodium chloride in the electrolyte itself. It can give Na plus and Cl minus ions. These are the electrodes. One is the anode that we can connect externally to the battery. This is positive terminal. This can be connected to the negative terminal. And this is anode. And this one is cathode. Anode is a positive and cathode is a negative. So when you pass electric current and these ions, here Cl minus ion will move towards the anode and Na plus ion will move towards cathode. And the respective chemical reactions can take place at the particular electrodes. So when you take fused sodium chloride, what happens at anode? At anode oxidation, so this negative ion, anion, chloride ion, will move towards anode and their oxidation can take place. So this anode positive electrode can take up electron from the Cl minus ion. Then Cl minus ion now will become as a neutral chlorine gas. So chlorine gas can liberate at anode by releasing of electrons. Next at cathode, where reduction takes place. So here cation will move towards cathode. We have the Na plus cation. It required electrons, and the cathode anyhow it is a negative terminal, has electrons, and this cation, sodium ion, can gain electrons from the cathode and deposit as sodium metal. This is a solid. The sodium can deposit over the cathode, and the chlorine, this is a gas, it can be liberated. It's a gas and it can be deposited. And this type of chemical reactions can take place when you pass electric current to the fused sodium chloride solution. And this is an electrolysis process. That overall process takes place in electrolytic cell. Other examples we take here: fused potassium chloride. And if you do the electrolysis of fused sodium chloride, what happens? Again, fused potassium chloride can give potassium ion and Cl minus ion. It can ionize like this. Again, we have the cation anion at anode. Oxidation can take place at anode, and Cl minus will move towards anode and then liberate as a Cl2 gas by releasing electrons at cathode. These potassium ions. We take electrons from the cathode and deposit as potassium solid. This is a chlorine gas. Again, what type of the substances liberate at anode and cathode in case of fused potassium chloride means chlorine gas liberates at anode and potassium deposits at cathode. Other examples: magnesium chloride. Again, all these are molten or fused only. Fused magnesium chloride. You can give ions like magnesium 2 plus and 2Cl minus. And you can check here again anode reaction and cathode reaction. At anode, again oxidation, 2Cl minus liberated as a chlorine gas by releasing 2 electrons. At cathode, and magnesium 2 plus can gain 2 electrons and deposit as magnesium solid. This type of reactions. Next one more, the potassium sulfate. Fused potassium sulfate again. You can give ions K plus ion. Here anion is sulfate. Again, whatever it is. So, as usual at anode, oxidation and cathode reduction. Again, the sulfate ion at anode can undergo oxidation, and the sulfate ion will undergo oxidation. It will give peroxysulfate H2OA to 2 minus. This is a peroxy disulfate anion. It is similar to the Marshall acid. It is anion of the Marshall acid. And at cathode, we have the potassium. We take the 2 electrons and we deposit as the potassium. Similarly, hyposodium thiosulfate. And you can use the ions sodium plus H2O3 2 minus. This is the anion cation. Anode oxidation H2O3 2 minus can be converted into the S4O6 2 minus. The thiosulfate into tetrathionate. This is S4 6 minus tetrathionate ion. So 2 moles of it. As usual, cathode, sodium plus ion. You take electron and deposit it as a sodium. So like this, the substances can liberate or deposit at their respective electrodes when you pass an electric current. And this is in case of the fused electrolytes. This is very, very important. When you take fused electrolyte, this kind of the situation can take place. And if you take aqueous solution, then what happens? That we will discuss in the second phase.